Hey everybody, here we are, Crazy Asian Vlog. Hope you're doing well. Just giving you a different angle to start off with. Start off the day actually heading downtown Houston to go to a doctor's appointment for my son. Everything's a-okay. Appreciate the positive thoughts there. He's doing well, and so everything was good. But after that, the appointment was at 10, so we left at around 7:45 and got there exactly at like 9:15. Maybe it was actually like 9:18 by the time we got through, and then was able to leave around 10:30. It just takes time to get through the doctor's office, right? And then was able to come to the office, got on the computer, responded to some emails, setting up some appointments, rescheduling some people that had fallen off, and then went to a lunch networking through the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. Had some great conversations. Gentleman doing a career placement staffing company for those on the spectrum of autism and working with businesses, employees basically 250 and more. So good conversation with Jeff. Had a great conversation with someone in the industry, of my industry. Her name's Vida, and just really enjoyed the conversation there. Talked to Natalie, who runs her own, Nicole, who is a real estate individual for the last 9 years. Jane, who works over at the chamber, and then also was able to talk with Julie. We're trying to get together and talk about what we're going to do as an organization in the chamber from a sponsorship perspective. And again, just looking at those dollars that you spend and making sure that you're going to get the rate of return or the ROI, whatever it is that you want to call it. Basically, we want to make sure that we're not just spending money just to spend money. And then after that, wanted to... I was going to have a meeting here at 2:30 in the Galleria, but that ended up having to get rescheduled, and totally respect that. That's what happens in people's lives. People, they're going to get sick, their kids are going to have activities, they're going to need to reschedule, and so it becomes really important to be able to make sure that you take time out of the day to get things done. So one thing that I do want to talk about is, I think a lot of times I end up showing you guys, because when it comes to my mind is networking, so I'll go to all these different events as much as possible, because a lot of you know that I moved here from Wisconsin a couple months ago, and I'm looking to build my network, so I'm going to a ton of these. So what I do, I believe that networking is a full contact sport. By the way, I did accidentally misspell, and it said in a recent post, networking is a full contract sport. No, full contact sport. So I'll get people's names. I'll connect with them immediately that day within 24 hours. I'll shoot them an email. If I enjoyed the conversation, I want to meet up with them, continue the business relationship, I'll ask them to meet up. Then after the email, I'll shoot them an invite on LinkedIn to be able to, and then I'll customize the message. Hey, enjoyed meeting you at the different event. Let's connect. I just shot you an email. And then after that, I'll enter in their data into my cell phone and also into Salesforce, our CRM tool. And that's a great way for me to be able to make sure that I'm keeping contact with people in my network. Your network is only as strong as your weakest relationships. So feel free to just delete people out of the system, or de-link from people online, throw away their business cards. If they're not willing to sit down with you, then they're not willing to be a part of my network. I have the same attitude towards like my dry cleaner, my dentist, places that I do business. If they're not clients of mine, I'm not clients of theirs. That's really just how it is. Then after that's how I keep track of people and keep them in the system. So I wanted to be able to just put that out there. I do, for those of you that do know, I have the vlog. I also have the Crazy Asian podcast, where I talk about Monday's leadership, Tuesday's career progression, Wednesday's motivation, Thursday's social media, Friday is personal development. And the vlog is, as you know, it's just the details of what's going on in the day. And I do end up putting up quotes of the day, my one-minute clip videos in YouTube, so that way people can have some of that for their enjoyment. And so one thing that I will say is I'm probably putting up enough content to make someone, it would be hours that they could spend probably on a daily basis consuming on my content. Maybe an hour, that's probably an exaggeration, because the vlog's only about maybe 10 minutes and the podcast is about 10 minutes. So anyway, hope you're doing great. Sherman's out. Hey there, everybody. Going to a Suited Connections event hosted by the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, a men's only networking event. Kind of meant to be kind of, I think, a cigars and scotch kind of a thing. So should be a ton of fun. being up here in this pretty cool building, the Arabella. Sounds fancy. So let's go inside, have a good time. All right, here we are, leaving the Suited Connections networking event. Had a great night, and thank you very much. So it's all about quality conversations, quality relationships versus quantity. Too many times I think people, they get stuck on this idea that when they go to a networking event, they got to talk to everybody there. Eventually, over time, you want to, but what you want to be able to do is identify who can you put into your network in a way that's you can add value to them, and vice versa, they can add value to you. Instead of thinking, who can I sell to? I think if we come there desperately looking who needs to buy, people can smell that desperation, and that's not a good thing. Which I think I'll do a 1-minute video based on that conversation right now. People did see me mic'd up, and so they asked, what I'm doing. So I was just telling them, hey, I've got a vlog, got a podcast, The Crazy Asian, and it's just about letting people know that this is kind of how I market, and taking advantage of the free marketing, PR marketing tools of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and being able to showcase who you are. Remember, a picture says 1,000 words, a video, millions. So I think, in my mind, we're crazy not to take advantage of these free tools while they're at our disposal right now for free. It reminds me of, the early 90s, I guess it was the late 90s, when email was getting big, and some companies that saw the opportunity started building up email lists to be able to market to people, and all of a sudden they had great success. So that was that. And now I will head home. It's about 8 o'clock. So about one night a week I'll work long, where I get home around 9 o'clock or so, or 8:30, and it's a conversation that I have with my wife. And again, I think you need to constantly adjust that for yourselves, for your family, your circumstances, and understand that you need to find out what's going to work well for you. This works well for us, but I'll tell you what, maybe in 6 months that won't work well, or maybe in a year that won't work well, and we'll have to adjust things. And so it's being flexible with your overall plan as you go about doing things. Sherm's out.